What's going on YouTube? Today we got NBA players who couldn't stand playing with Michael Jordan, man. The last Michael Jordan reaction will be at the end of the video. Stay tuned for that. I ain't hear too many players that couldn't stand. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they just, I just haven't done enough research. Now we here though. We gonna see what's up. Tell me which one to react to next. Road to 5 billion subscribers. Turn on post notifications as well. All links in the description. And without further introduction, man, let's get into it.
Greatest basketball player of all time, Michael Jordan, has not graced an NBA court in several years. Still, he is the basketball player who's the most talked about. You know Jordan to be a great player, but do you know how he treated some other players on and off the court? Who are the NBA players that could not stand playing with Jordan due to his behavior? Keep watching to find out. First, 5 NBA players who adored Michael Jordan. Of course, there are many people who loved playing with MJ because of his winning attitude and amazing talent, which made playing basketball at the top level enjoyable and fulfilling. Here are some of the players that adored Jordan. Scottie Pippen comes first on this list. It is no secret that Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan had a rocky relationship at first because they found it difficult to get along. However, it didn't take them long to get used to one another on the court, which greatly aided their friendship off the court. With 6 championships to their credit, they rose to the status of one of the NBA's most illustrious duos. And this explains why the Chicago Bulls ruled the 1990s. Jordan and Pippen got along incredibly well and had the best seasons of their individual careers together. Secondly, we have Bill Wennington. One of the many valuable bench players for the Chicago Bulls was Bill Wennington. Michael Jordan had disagreements with a few of his old teammates, but he got along well with Wennington. Although Wennington was occasionally the target of insults, it didn't affect his attitude toward how much he valued his role as Jordan's teammate. Wennington participated in the Bulls' second three-peat and played for them for 6 seasons. Wennington only remained a member of the Sacramento Kings for 1 more season after Jordan's retirement before calling it a career. Thirdly, we have B.J. Armstrong. As an all-around player, B.J. Armstrong was an integral part of the Chicago Bulls team that won 3 championships between 1991 and 1993. He and Michael Jordan got along well on and off the court, and their friendship was much better off the court. Armstrong revealed that they frequently call on the phone to catch up, and when asked about his career's high points, Armstrong usually says that getting to play with someone as amazing as Jordan was a dream come true. Next, we have Charles Oakley. The fact that Michael Jordan and Charles Oakley were teammates twice, first with the Chicago Bulls and subsequently the Washington Wizards, is frequently forgotten. In addition to giving the Wizards a veteran presence, Jordan recruited Oakley to the team because of their friendship that dates back to the middle of the 1980s. They still get along well and only have good things to say about each other today. The organization sought out Jordan to defuse the situation when Oakley and New York Knicks owner James Dolan became embroiled in some controversy. Lastly, we have Steve Kerr. Every single Chicago Bulls fan is aware that there was some animosity between Steve Kerr and Michael Jordan at one point, which resulted in Michael Jordan punching him in the face. While this incident may have sparked fierce competition between the 2 players, it was never personal because they both had a strong desire to win at all costs, which brought out a very intense side in them. Kerr has continued to praise Jordan long after his retirement, demonstrating that he didn't harbor ill will toward him, especially considering that his airness gave him the opportunity to make the last shot in Game 6 of the finals. Next up, 10 NBA players who could not stand playing with Michael Jordan. Even though Michael Jordan is still regarded as one of the most divisive players in NBA history, his treatment of some teammates undoubtedly would have drawn greater criticism had he lived in the present. Although it's commonly known that Jordan expected nothing less than the best from his players, given the Bulls' era of supremacy in the 1990s, it's also true that there are many instances in which he was was just cruel. Here are 10 NBA players that couldn't stand playing with Michael Jordan. First on the list is Stacey King. Stacey King wasn't happy with Michael Jordan's antics, even though he was selected by the Chicago Bulls in the 1989 draft and played for the team while they won 3 championships. In fact, Jordan used to berate him frequently, calling him a powerless forward since he couldn't get many rebounds. He left the team in a trade in 1994, went on to become a journeyman, and left the NBA 3 years later. King was never delighted about having to put up with Jordan for 5 seasons until his final departure from the Bulls, though he probably respects the fact that he was on a successful team. Next is Bill Cartwright. Michael Jordan was upset, to put it mildly, when the Chicago Bulls traded Charles Oakley away from the team in exchange for Bill Cartwright. The two men had been good friends, and he didn't want to play with Cartwright because he didn't think he could contribute much to the squad. Jordan frequently made fun of Cartwright in front of their teammates and even made fun of him frequently in press conferences. Even when Jordan had been rude, Cartwright would frequently disregard his actions. But after Jordan told teammates not to pass to him during games, he did confront Jordan. Third on the list is Rodney McRae. According to all accounts, Michael Jordan wasn't the best teammate to have, especially when it came to rookies, because he always challenged them aggressively. Jordan's harshest outbursts were directed at Rodney McRae, who was called a loser numerous times during a Bulls practice. Many former teammates and staff members claim that the incident had a profound impact on McRae's playing moving forward, because he might have taken Jordan's words to heart. Jordan not only made fun of him in front of their teammates, but he may also have inspired him to end his career, since he would only play for the Bulls for 1 season before deciding to retire. Next is Brad Sellers. Michael Jordan wanted the Chicago Bulls to utilize their 9th round pick, which they had in the 1986 draft, to select Johnny Dawkins. Jordan believed that Dawkins would be his teammate because they had been friends for a while. When the Bulls chose to go a different route and signed 7-footer Brad Sellers, Jordan reportedly became angry with the organization's management for deciding to sign a dubious player instead of a proven one. He ended up being correct because Dawkins had a much longer career than Sellers, a terrible rebounder who only played in Chicago for 3 seasons before being sent to the Seattle Supersonics. Fifth on the list, we have Jerry Stackhouse. Jerry Stackhouse was compared to Michael Jordan when he first entered the NBA, and many people thought that he would one day be almost as outstanding. Stackhouse had some outstanding seasons in the NBA, which resulted in 2 outings to the All-Star game, but he was in no way comparable to Michael Jordan.
I know you putting his AAU kids to work. Look at him. Working them.
2 outings to the All-Star game, but he was in no way comparable to Michael Jordan. As the president of the Washington Wizards in 2002, Jordan made a deal for Stackhouse in the hopes that the team would make a meaningful playoffs push, but they were unsuccessful due to yet another subpar season. Stackhouse didn't exactly get along with Jordan during his 1 season as his teammate. We are now diving into the second half of this list. Next, we have Will Perdue. After being chosen by the Chicago Bulls in the 1988 draft, Will Perdue was another notable contributor to their dynasty. Perdue always stepped up when necessary and gave the Bulls vital minutes off the bench, despite spending most of his time as a backup player. However, he wasn't particularly fond of Jordan as a teammate because the two players frequently argued. Jordan warned Perdue not to set an illegal pick on him during a furious practice session. Perdue shamelessly disregarded Jordan's warning, and as a result, he was immediately attacked. Larry Hughes is 7th on this list. Before Michael Jordan announced his 3rd and last retirement in 2002-03, Larry Hughes only played 1 season with him. Hughes, meanwhile, is yet another person who wasn't a fan of Jordan's antics, since he believed Jordan frequently overdid things. Jordan reportedly continued to be cruel, even during his final years with the Washington Wizards. He is said to have engaged in a number of altercations with teammates, some of whom were put to the test, and others who were merely targeted for humiliation. For the Wizards, Hughes had a few good seasons, but he wasn't quite up to Jordan's standards, which might have created some friction. Richard Hamilton comes next on the list. As one might anticipate, Richard Hamilton was enthusiastic about the idea of playing with Michael Jordan, but the experience fell short of his expectations. He would discover that Jordan's reputation as a difficult teammate was true, as Hamilton was frequently criticized by his airness. During Jordan's time with the Wizards, there is one event in particular that sticks out. Hamilton asked to wear Jordan's sneakers on the court, but the latter refused, saying that they were just for all-star players. Ninth on this list is Robert Parrish. After a stellar career with the Boston Celtics, where he won 3 NBA titles and was selected for 9 All-Star games, Robert Parrish signed with the Chicago Bulls for his final season. Parrish didn't particularly enjoy playing with Jordan, even if he did get to add one more championship to his collection. The two never developed a close friendship after their playing days. They actually almost got into a fight when Jordan threatened to beat Parrish after the two exchanged some trash talk early on, according to Parrish, who alleges that Jordan did not relent. Parrish doesn't always have the best things to say about MJ, now that he has been retired for years. Lastly, we have Kwame Brown. Michael Jordan joined the Washington Wizards as president after retiring from playing, and he chose Kwame Brown with the first overall pick in the 2001 draft. Brown is now regarded as one of history's biggest flops, and it is well known that once Jordan came out of retirement, their relationship wasn't the finest. In fact, there were rumors that Jordan had previously called Brown out for being too soft, and then made him cry. While Brown acknowledged that Jordan was far from being the friendliest person to him throughout their time together, he continues to deny crying over that specific incident. That brings us to the end of today's video. Were you aware of how Michael Jordan treated his teammates? What do you think about his behavior towards them? Let us know through the comment section.
And that's the end of this one, y'all. That's the cost of being great, man. You know? It's a cost of being great. Some teammates gonna hate you, some teammates gonna love you, some teammates gonna respect you. You know? It is what it is. But if y'all enjoyed this Michael Jordan reaction, make sure you click on the last Michael Jordan reaction on your screen right now. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. Make sure you turn on post notifications and tell me which one we react to next. And I'm out of here, man. All links in the description.